is WGEM News at 6, the Tri-States News Leader.
The McDonough County Sheriff's race is heating up. In newly released 911 recordings, a citizen claims Sheriff Rick Van Broecker was driving recklessly and possibly intoxicated, and how the incident was handled is raising a separate controversy. My colleague Gene Kennedy is digging deeper into it tonight. He's back now from Macomb to tell us more.
Alexandra, good evening. The 911 recordings have caused some to question whether the county's chief deputy, who's running for sheriff, tried to cover up the incident. The sheriff says that is not true, and he questions the timing of all of this since the allegations surfaced just days before early voting starts in the sheriff's race. The controversy started on a private Macomb road months before it was covered in snow. Back on April 4th, 2017, a resident called police concerned.
This guy just came blazing down my lane, and I had a lot of potholes. I mean, he had to have been doing 30. Comes almost hits the back of my truck, and I walk up to him. I said, "Hi," and he goes, "I'm just getting comfortable." And his eyes and everything were glazed over. And I asked him, I said, "Do you know where you're at?" And he said, "I'm just getting comfortable."
After running the plate, it's discovered the driver is Sheriff Rick Van Broecker. The dispatcher radios deputies reporting a possible 1055 or possible intoxicated driver.
She's from Plans Lane and then left. Male, white driving, orange shirt, 1028-47, returns clear, valid. Richard Van Broecker.
Minutes later, the dispatcher gets a call from Chief Deputy Nicholas Pettigrew, one of 3 Republican candidates trying to replace Sheriff Van Broecker, who's not seeking re-election.
Radio.
What was that
What?
that you just put out?
The reckless driving?
On the sheriff?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even...
Yeah.
The 911 Center's director says Chief Deputy Pettigrew hung up on the dispatcher. Her take on how he handled the interaction?
Unprofessionally. I mean, he was calling in and speaking to a dispatcher in a very terse tone.
Jessica Shootman says the dispatcher still has her job and handled the call appropriately, not realizing it involved the sheriff.
She didn't get the connection at the beginning, and she took the complaint. She followed procedures. She put it out over the radio, just like she should.
The dispatch center's call report shows deputies responded, but the sheriff hasn't released an incident report detailing any investigation, and the call report shows it was closed with no report, no indication of a follow-up. Was this thoroughly investigated?
I do not know.
Do you think they gave the sheriff a pass?
No comment on that.
Neither Chief Deputy Pettigrew or Sheriff Van Broecker were willing to answer our questions on camera. They did, though, send written statements today, and here are some excerpts from them. Now, the sheriff blames not only politics, he says he suffered from some sort of medical condition, writing, "I experienced the onset of what felt like vertigo," adding, "I did speak with a man who was concerned. I did mention getting comfortable, and I also told him that I needed just a minute. I did not explain what was going on since I did not want him calling an ambulance. The feeling passed, and I left." He says he went home and nothing was covered up. Now, in Pettigrew's statement, he writes the next stop was to the home of the party involved, where he was discovered at the home. There was no damage to the vehicle, no evidence to support a reckless driving claim, so case closed. Pettigrew also says he was surprised by what the dispatcher did. He was not angry with her. Alexander, back to you.
Thank you, Gene. We're digging